Hello and welcome to the Jess Tales. My name is Jessica. I have an Olipop here. It's not alcohol. I'll be talking about that later, but I've really backed off the wine and all of that. So this is a strawberry vanilla Olipop. Love Olipop. My favorite is root beer. My second favorite one is cola. Olipop, if you want to work together. I know I'm not famous or anything, but I drink your drinks like almost every day. They're so good. I just finished filming another huge video all about quitting the birth control pill, my personal experiences and symptoms of going on birth control pill, and why I quit the pill. So I will link that up here at the top and in the description box below if you want to go see that. I took a ton of notes and I'm basically going through here so I can keep this organized and to the point. I don't want to bore you guys, but I highly recommend putting your earbuds in. You don't have to even look at me the whole time. Just listen to what I have to say because I am so passionate about this subject now after realizing that I had absolutely no idea what goes on inside of the female body, and I had absolutely no idea that women can't get pregnant except for a small window every single month. No idea. I had no idea that your bleed while you're on the pill is not a period. It's just like fake. Mind blown. I knew nothing and I consider myself educated. I mean, I researched a lot of things. I went to a four-year university. No one ever taught me anything about the female body except if you don't want to get pregnant, go on the birth control pill. I'm not even going to get into the shortcomings of our school systems. That's for another day. Anyways, so I'm super excited to announce that I am filming this video because I got my period back 9 months after stopping the birth control pill. So I went 9 months without a period, and it's not that uncommon, guys. I was on birth control pill for 10 years straight. So again, I had that video linked down below. I'm not gonna be talking about that. I'm just gonna be talking about what I did to get my period back. But I highly recommend watching the other video down below first, all about my journey coming off of it, because I share basically what I used to get my period back in that video as well. So periods, the menstrual cycle, it's like a fifth vital sign of health for women. So important for them to be regular, to not be super painful or super heavy, and they shouldn't be too light either. They are such a good reflection of your inner health and your hormonal health, which has everything to do with your brain, your body, your weight, your outlook on life, everything. And it is just so important to nurture your body and your hormones because that is all we have. For example, something I've learned through getting on birth control and figuring out my cycle and cycle syncing is that I am estrogen sensitive. For me, during ovulatory phase, I am in the pits depressed, like ready to leave my family, ready to leave my home and my sweet husband, who I don't want to actually leave, but I just want to go take my dog and move to Australia by myself because I can't deal with anything anymore. And for some reason, I think it's a different world over there and I'll be happy. But really, that's depression. And I just will sit around and cry for no reason all day, every day. That is a big symptom of estrogen sensitivity, which I have when my estrogen spikes around that time. Since the period is your fifth vital sign, it's really important that you are having a period and that it is regular. So when I didn't have one for 9 months post birth control, I was pretty freaked out, but I just tried to give my body a year knowing that I had been on it for 10 years straight. It's not gonna just jump back in. I don't even think it was regular before the period, before my birth control pill, but I don't remember, so it was really hard for me to kind of gauge what could be going on. But here are the things that I did that I am pretty sure helped me get it back. Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I don't have a degree in medicine. I only know from the resources I've read, which I will have linked below, and they're also linked in the video before this, which again, you should watch. That this is just my own experience. Every single woman is different. If you are really struggling to get your period back and you think it could be a very serious hormonal imbalance, please don't look at this video and think, oh, well, she got hers back in 9 months. I'll give it 9 months. Go to a naturopath, go to your doctor, go have those tests run, and don't take a YouTuber's advice without doing your own research. I'm not even sure that anything that I did directly impacted my period. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions based off of what changed and when I got it. So I think a lot of these things kind of helped each other out in getting my period back naturally, but there's one thing in particular I'm pretty sure was the leading cause, but I can't say for sure, but I'm just making my own speculations based off of what I personally went through. Okay, so quick rundown. I stopped the pill November 14th, 2021. March 15th, 2022, I tried seed cycling with the moon phases because it didn't have a cycle. So basically that means new moon is your menstrual phase, the full moon signals ovulation. I only did that for about 2 weeks, so I didn't really stick to it like I was supposed to, so I don't think that contributed anything at all. It may have helped if I would have stuck to it, but I didn't really follow it super close. You're supposed to have 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds and flax seeds a day in your follicular and your ovulatory phase, and then in your luteal and your menstrual phase, you're supposed to have 1 to 2 tablespoons each of sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. Then in May 2022, I really started looking at my diet and my exercise. I ended up downloading MyFitnessPal and I started tracking everything I was eating, and I found out I was eating under 1,000 calories a day, which is starvation, especially when you're a female. Balancing your hormones is starvation. I'm 26 years old. I weigh over 100 pounds. I shouldn't be eating less than 1,000 calories a day. That is like sickening. I honestly felt so bad for my body when I found out how much I was eating. But the thing was, I didn't really feel hungry throughout the day. I wasn't like starving. I was skipping meals by accident. I was like forgetting to eat, which is wild, I know. But I really tried to schedule my meals, like make time blocks for myself to eat so that I would stay on track with my meals throughout the day and make sure I was getting enough food, and I was keeping my nutrition very quality. So I wasn't going to Chick-fil-A as much as I used to. I wasn't having as many processed foods. I've always lived a very healthy lifestyle. I'm not gonna lie. I've always been super conscious about what I'm putting in my body. I've always tried to stay away from fast food, stay away from treats, and I don't have a sweet tooth, so I'm not really big into sugar anyways. I don't buy myself chips and snacks that are unhealthy because I just don't want to be tempted with it in the house. I'll eat some bad foods. I don't like to label my foods either, but I'll eat some bad foods occasionally if I want some. I don't limit myself, but I do limit myself. Like I won't go like eat a whole bag of Doritos. You know, I'm very healthy and I've always been very health conscious. But my problem was I needed to make sure I was eating enough of those healthy foods, because also when you eat a healthy diet, it takes a lot more food to reach that caloric intake versus, you know, like a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Like I could easily be over 1,000 calories and eat half the amount of food if I was eating out, but I was cooking very nutritious foods at home. In May, I also cut out caffeine. My anxiety just disappeared about 2 weeks after I saw the birth control pill, which was wild for me. And again, I talked more about that in my first video, why I went off. That was a huge reason, was panic attacks. But whenever I cut out caffeine, I noticed a huge decrease in my like daily, I wouldn't say it was anxiety, but my heartbeat would always be really fast whenever I'd have caffeine. I just felt kind of like, and then it was a hunger suppressant, so I wouldn't be hungry, but then I wouldn't eat, so my blood sugar would dip really low, and then by the time it was lunchtime, I was finally getting hungry, but I felt kind of sick because I was like so hyped on caffeine, but also hadn't eaten. I was a mess. My adrenals were probably like shot. Stopped caffeine and I ordered a Rasa. Rasa is amazing. I wanted to get into like mushroom adaptogenic coffee, but I like Rasa because they have a lot of blends that don't have any coffee in them. So they actually are just like a mushroom and other herbal blends. My favorite one is the cacao. So that is my like new morning coffee, and I have it every single morning, and it has made such a difference in my everything. I don't get stressed out as much. I don't have like freak out reactions to certain things anymore. I'm just way more of a chill, even person. First week of June, I spotted for the first time since I stopped birth control. So I noticed spotting and a little bit of cramping, and I got really excited, but a period never actually came. So the week after that, I ended up having another bout of depression, and I started feeling really down about how I wasn't having a period yet. So I ended up ordering ovulation test strips to measure my LH levels, just to see if I was even ovulating, because I made a plan that if I didn't have a period in another month, then I was going to go ahead and make an appointment for my doctor and a naturopath, and I really wanted to kind of have help measuring my hormones, kind of seeing what exactly was going wrong so that we could target it and try to fix it, because it's really hard to fix these things when you don't know what the issue is. So at least I wanted to confirm if I was ovulating or not. And if you know about the fertility awareness method, that's kind of what I've been following, where you basically track on a chart your basal body temperature and your cervical mucus, which is such a fun thing to say. Along with those two symptoms and a ovulation test strip measuring my luteinizing, I think is how you say it, luteinizing hormone, that is how I confirmed that I was ovulating, or at least that my body was trying to ovulate, and that was a good sign. I also ordered magnesium the same day that I ordered ovulation test strip. So I got everything off Amazon and I ordered magnesium glycinate, and I took an extra 200 milligrams of magnesium a day on top of one women's multivitamin. I'll link the exact stuff I had down below. So then after being on the magnesium for 2 to 3 weeks, I noticed a peak in my luteinizing hormone, so my ovulation test strip and my cervical mucus and my basal body temperature said that I had ovulated. So I confirmed ovulation. But after that, your temperature is supposed to stay high on your chart. So your temp drops and then it goes up and it'll stay high, and it'll either continue to stay high because you're pregnant, or it'll drop back again and then you start your period. But my temperature was all over the place after that, and I didn't end up having a period after that. So that was like another kind of failed attempt where I realized I hadn't ovulated and I still didn't have a period. But at least I knew my body was trying, because I got the confirmation that I thought was a confirmation of a peak day. So that was a good sign. On July 21st, so this is exactly a month and 2 days after the other peak day, I had another peak day of ovulation test strips, and all my other symptoms, it was the exact same, but this time my temperatures stayed high and they were very even, like in a really nice line on my chart, which was the first time since ever that they had actually been like in a nice pattern. I also had a new symptom this time. So after I confirmed ovulation, I had the most tender boobs, and so then I was kind of scared that I was pregnant, because I was having other little symptoms like weird cravings and stuff. I had tests for those too. I wasn't. That is a symptom of your progesterone rising, and so that was a really good sign, because that really told me that yet again I was having more symptoms. Something really good is happening. This is great. And lo and behold, on August 5th, 2022, I had my first period, and it was a doozy, but I'm so happy. I'm so excited about it, and it lasted for a solid 5 days, which is super healthy, very average, and I am just over the moon excited about it. What I really think contributed to me getting my period back was the magnesium. So there is a book called Period Repair Manual, and I read that thing like 2 or 3 times, and there was this one part in there talking about if you don't have a period post pill, that this woman actually recommends to her clients get on magnesium glycinate, because she said that is one of the first things that she'll try with all of her clients, and it usually helps. As soon as I took that magnesium, 2 weeks later is when I started to notice like different things happening in the peak days. It was the first time I'd ever done it. Of course, I ordered my ovulation test strips the same day I ordered the magnesium, so it's kind of unfair to say that that's what caused it to happen, but I don't think it's a coincidence that I started taking magnesium exactly a month and a half before I got my first period back. So that helped so much. So that's how I got my period back, and the very last part of this video, I just want to talk about what I'm doing moving forward, because I have yet to have my second. That was the biggest hurdle, was just getting it back once. Now I just need to keep it regular. So how I am tracking is I'm using an app called Read Your Body, which I highly recommend. It is one of the few charting apps on your phone that is women owned and privately owned, and so they don't sell your personal information, which is huge. If you use one of those really popular tracking cycle apps, they can just give away all your health information, and I don't really know how it's a terrible thing. I haven't looked into that, but I didn't want that for myself, and this was $15 a year, so it was very affordable. So I went ahead and got this app, and I absolutely love it because it's super customizable. You can add your own symptoms in there, all of that. To take my temperature every single day, because that's what you have to do if you're doing the fertility awareness method, which is what I'm doing. It is very difficult to get an accurate basal body temperature every single morning because you have to wake up at about the same time every single day, and you have to take your temperature before you even sit up or speak for the day because your temperature can fluctuate as soon as you like move. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially when it comes to birth control, like when it's natural like this. I'm not messing around. I bought the Temp Drop, which I highly recommend if you are going to try this, just because it is so easy. It takes the thinking out of everything. It does everything for you. It is amazing. You can use your HSA or your FSA to purchase this Temp Drop. I use my HSA for it. And I also have a 10% off code. So if you want to try it, please use my referral link. I don't work with them, but I do get a $10 bonus every time I refer someone with my link, so it helps me out a lot. I'll leave that link down below. And I did get a special armband for it, so I'll just show it to you. So this is my Temp Drop. So this is the armband. I got it from Etsy, and you basically wear it every single night like this. I'll do it over my sleeve. Slide it on just like that, and you wear it like right under your armpit all night. And this armband, you don't feel it at all, I promise. I can't even sleep with my Apple Watch on anymore. I don't even like sleeping with my rings on, and I have absolutely no issues with this at all. But I do recommend getting the band from Etsy for it because it's super soft and stretchy and adjustable, and it's way more comfortable. But the Temp Drop is this little device right here. That's all it is, and it syncs up to your phone via Bluetooth. And then the Read Your Body app, the reason why I chose that one as well is because it can read temp drop temperatures. When I wake up in the morning, I sync this to my Temp Drop app on my phone. Then I will go to my Read Your Body app, and there's a little button on it that says pull data from Temp Drop. So I'll just tap it, and it automatically pulls it over from the app without me doing anything. Super easy. I highly recommend that if you're doing fertility awareness method. I did purchase the ovulation test strips, and I'm going to continue to take them for the next few cycles just to kind of make sure that everything is still happening as it should. And I use the brand Pre-Mom, and whenever you buy those strips, I got them off Amazon, comes with a little app, and you just like take a photo of the test strip after it's completed its testing, and it'll automatically tell you your peak day and like the percentages of luteinizing hormone, all of that. So that's a pretty cool resource. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is now that I'm on my period, I am doing no more tampons, and I was so terrified about this. I can do a whole other video on this if you want to, let me know. But I tried menstrual cups for the first time. First of all, I was terrified to use them, but I highly recommend them. I've only used them for one cycle, and I got two different ones. I got the Salt Small, and I got a Cora one that's supposed to be like ultra sensitive and soft, just because I'm so freaked out about that. And let me tell you, I have never been that comfortable with myself. I learned a lot about myself through this process, but it is such a great feeling knowing that you can put one of those things in and leave it, and you don't have to worry about any leaks or anything like that as long as it's in there the right way. So that wraps up this video. I really hope that you found that helpful. I really hope that there's no one really struggling, but I know it's so common. I just want to say, if you are trying to get out the birth control pill, I am so proud of you. It is such a process for some of us. And for myself, it was just so consuming, like not knowing what was wrong with me, and not knowing if I was ever going to get a period back, not knowing if I had PCOS. Like, I didn't know what to expect, and it was just such a relief to get it back. And I was so excited to film this because I want to be able to help somebody else. I remember watching all these videos trying to figure out what I could do to get my period back, what's normal, what's not normal. There is no normal, and like I said, I'm not a doctor. This is just what happened to me, my own experiences with it, so I highly recommend that you do your own research. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you found it helpful, and I'll see you next week.